Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome to our semi-weekly Eastside Wrap meeting where we discuss the impacts of homelessness in the east side of Santa Barbara. I'm Landon Rank, Associate Director with SB ACT. And we will go ahead and get started with just a couple general announcements. The first one being that I can't believe it's already the end of March. It's already April now, but that does mean that the warming center season is officially over. So the Freedom Warming Centers will not be in operation again until mid-November of this year. So a huge thank you to everyone who helped to make those possible. Good Samaritan, our county staff, and all the faith communities and other groups that donated and supported as well. I don't know if there's anyone on this call from either the county or Good Samaritan who wants to just share about how it went this year, but just know we're grateful for you. All right, I'm not seeing anyone jump in. I don't know, Path, is someone from Path able to share whether this affects your ability to open inclement weather beds at all?
Hey, Landon, sorry, I was speaking. I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
During the non-winter months, PATH CUP requires them to ask permission from the city to extend their beds for events of inclement weather. So it could be extreme heat or rain. And they just submit a request and we approve it. I believe it's also in their contract agreement with the county to make these beds available. So it would just be a matter of them letting us know that they're making this request to open up, and we have never not granted it because, you know, humanitarian response. So yeah, they should be able to operate their emergency beds year round.
Thanks, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you to our. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, I had to run out and then I just came back in and was just asking if what you were just explaining, Liz, was about path beds.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, so with that, we'll say thank you to our PATH team as well for all your work during the rainy season. And we don't anticipate a lot more rain after the warming center season ends anyway, but you never know. And then we do have some very exciting news to share, and maybe I'll turn it over to Barbara for this one.
Y'all, we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. So thanks to everyone that shared their support. I know Rich Block, Odin, there were letters and public comment from so many folks, and it really helped us take it over this hurdle. So the Planning Commission unanimously approved a conditional use permit for the daytime navigation and workforce development center that we're proposing at 621 Chapala Street. So unanimous approval from Planning Commission, unanimous approval from Mayor and Council is more than we could have ever hoped for. And it really is because of this team, our regional action plan meetings, the fact that we've been engaging for now a number of years in our neighborhood navigation centers in 3 different areas throughout the city. And that proven track record of success, again, was time and time again referenced for us to be able to transition to a physical site. So yeah, cannot share my gratitude enough for all of you and all of the time and all of the hard work that has gone into this. There is an opportunity for any member that was part of the hearing to appeal the approval of the CUP by the Planning Commission. And that appeal would go to City Council. So there's 10 days for that appeal. We just heard from our planner that we'll know on Monday, April 15th, if an appeal has been submitted. And so we'll keep everyone up to date. But in the meantime, the SB ACT team and the city are continuing to work to beautify this space, make it accessible as possible, and get service providers in there on a regular schedule. So yeah, we overcame another huge hurdle. It was a marathon meeting once again. And so we would not have been able to do this, I think, before this time So just really appreciate everyone and all the contributions.
I want to echo that as well. Just thank you to everyone. There are quite a few people on this call actually who really contributed public comment in support of that. And so as of right now, we're hoping for a start date sometime in the next few months, like in early summer of this year. Today, they're actually disassembling the cubicles that were formerly in the space. So there's quite a bit of work still to be done to make it client ready. But we're really excited to be able to offer that as a space for people to go during the daytime and receive the services they need. And there is a question in the chat. So the Eastside NNC is the one that will remain as it currently is at the rescue mission on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So we'll still have presence on the East Side once a week, and we'll be using that to also help encourage people, hey, there's a new center open, a good place for you to go and be able to meet with your case manager, et cetera. Any other questions? All right, thank you all again, and we'll definitely keep you posted as we know more. That's all I have for general announcements. So what we've been doing the last few weeks is actually starting with community questions and concerns. So that way we can help kind of guide our conversation around the needs arising from the neighbors. So why don't we start with that, and I'll open it up for anyone to share any questions or concerns.
I'd like to give a shout out to the police department yesterday for the quick response that we had over here on the Soledad Bridge. There was a tagging incident that was reported by a couple of us here, and there was video. And I'm glad that they were released to apprehend one of them. So good job to the PD.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, a call went out yesterday. We received several calls to our 911 center about the tagging going on. We were able to have 4 officers respond in less than 10 minutes. It did turn into a little bit of a pursuit before there was a subject apprehended. And so thank you to the community that, you know, called and had video and made our jobs easier and partnered with us.
Thank you.
Always appreciate hearing the good news. Thank you. Other questions or concerns from the community?
Just this ongoing in front of path, increasing appearance of a mini skid row. It's growing, it's blocking the sidewalks, it's on both sides of path, and it's growing. And I come to this meeting repeatedly every time, and it's not reducing. You know, we clear it up and it lasts for about a week, and then it's all back all over again. So don't know what we're going to do about it, guys, but I think we need a little bit more accountability. We need more responsibility. We need more action. We need to make it a priority because it has a ripple effect as well.
Natasha, a couple of things. It is a priority. So that's why you're seeing the clearings when you're seeing them. And yes, you know, it's a highly impacted area that we have not been able to, you know, keep safe and open and clean for an extended period of time for a variety of reasons. So because of what we've experienced the last few months and trying to provide even more services during the daytime so that we have a place for people to go and to seek services and be on that pathway towards self-sufficiency in housing. I will tell you that references to Skid Row are really problematic for me. And if you have been there recently, then you can fairly make that reference. But I will say my recent visits there, we are nowhere near that level. Our team, the responsiveness of the team, what we're dealing with in terms of homelessness is nowhere near the level that they're experiencing there. So those references to me, I would really like to cease. They're really problematic. The second thing is that it's not just PATH clients that are creating that impact. It's people that have been exited from PATH. It's people that are experiencing vehicular homelessness. It is people that have been resistant to services and are there for drug use and drug activity and sales altogether. You know, PD has had targeted enforcement there. That targeted enforcement has yielded a number of arrests, felony arrests, and we will continue to do that. Encampment response requires a 72-hour notice, so it takes 3 days for those encampments to be cleared. And yes, they're back up again, but our team is out there every single week. The litter removal is at the highest level we can have in that neighborhood with the resources that we have available to us. We've added trash cans. We're doing power washing twice a week. So we're giving everything we can to the neighborhood, and that resource targeting has not decreased. So it is a high impact area, no matter the level of resources that we're providing. We agree and are working with PATH on setting an expectation for respect in that neighborhood, the neighboring properties, the multi-generational family businesses that we continue to engage with. We do not want employees to feel unsafe going in and out of their organization and company. We do not want Susie's employees to be encountering what they're encountering, nor any other company or organization that's down there. We don't want that at all, but please know it's not because we don't care, and it's not because it's not a priority for us.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for all of that. And I'd just like to add that until we end homelessness, until we end drug use and abuse, there will always continue to be people who are unhoused and people who are, unable to deal with their addictions, who are searching for whatever is next for them, their next fix. Like, that's always going to continue somewhere in every community until we're able to solve that. And that's what, we're doing as a community, is coming together to figure that out and to create the housing opportunities that are needed to try to get people off of the streets. But if they don't have a home to go to, they have to be somewhere. And unfortunately, right now that place is on Cacique Street. So hopefully this neighborhood center will help with that. But the fact of the matter is still that there isn't enough housing. There aren't even enough interim housing beds in our community for everybody to be on. So until we solve it together, there will always be issues with people out there searching for services.
And pursuit of services is voluntary, right? So we are going to be implementing initiatives at the county level, like the Care Court program, and otherwise Prop 1 passing, creating an opportunity and avenue for more treatment beds and mental health facilities, is critically important. So we'll keep you updated when we have new tools available to us, but we have exhausted and will continue to do so every option that's available to us, both on the compassionate side as well as the enforcement side, which we've been doing, again, consistently since I've been here, at the very least, but the Lower East Side has been an area and a priority for a lot longer than that.
Well, I overstepped in my terminology, so I apologize for that. And I absolutely do recognize what everyone is doing and appreciate the difficulty of the situation. And I know that it's a very thorny issue, and it's just very frustrating to keep seeing it not only not decrease, but grow.
Natasha, you're right, and you're sensing the same frustration in my voice. We're frustrated too. We spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars as a city putting resources in that area. I wish we could see improvements for a longer period of time, but we won't let up. That neighborhood is just as important as every other neighborhood in the city. We care a lot about everyone that's there, and we do have a number of folks that are resistant, that are not open to services and support, that don't respect the neighborhood. And again, we'll continue to have enforcement as that pathway.
Well, I think, let me say it a little differently. I super appreciate what the city is doing. And I really respect what everybody's been doing to work on this. and we're not dealing with the root problem. And I don't see PATH stepping up because it was a very different situation previously. And yeah, sure, there are a few things, but there's a better way to manage this. And I resent the cost to our city for this situation that, you know, in a sense was created before most of you were dealing with it.
Well, I do appreciate the back and forth. I do, and since Liz brought up the need for the interim housing too, we do have some opportunity on the horizon. We're expecting that the new Dignity Move site will be opening hopefully this month out at the Juvenile Hall, which will open up. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 90 cabins, I believe, half of which will be specifically targeted for behavioral health concerns. So that won't only be serving the city of Santa Barbara, of course, it's serving the entire region, but that's 90 individuals that will be able to get out of street level homelessness or out of the shelters and open up some of those beds that we need, which is no small thing. So we're very hopeful that that will provide some help, and then also will specifically assist with some of those high impact individuals that we see every day. I do appreciate the conversation. This is why we're here, is for these ongoing discussions about what is being done, what still needs to be done. So I appreciate everyone chiming in on these things. Are there other questions or concerns from the community?
Just wanted to add real quick that we do have reports of encampments on that 800 block. So our team will be making the postings per usual.
Sorry,
I have
Liz,
one
can you?
question for Barbara.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Jesse. I have one question for Barbara.
Yeah, go ahead.
Barbara, the people at Ace Ramirez are you talking to the son that runs the business or the actual mom and father who own it?
We've met with the entire family multiple times, and Susie has actually joined some of those conversations as well from our part. So again, we understand the impacts that they've experienced. We are continuing to do everything we can to improve the situation, and we've had ongoing conversations with the full family.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Natasha, I just put in the chat, but instead of like back and forth and responding here, I'd love to schedule time with you individually that we could talk and I could just hear more from you about what ideas you have for what PATH can be doing better and what else you would like to see us doing to end homelessness on Cacique.
I'd be more than happy to have that conversation with you, Liz. Thank you for opening that.
Great. Yeah, do you want to reach out to me, or should I reach out to you, or what works best for you?
Give me a sec. I'll pop my calendar link in the chat so anyone who wants to chat with me can.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
I'm sorry, Landon, if I could, real quick, I wanted to let everybody know I had a really nice meeting yesterday, met Natalia and Mr. and Mrs. Ramirez for about an hour and a half over at Jack's Bagels, and I really appreciated, I don't know if they're on the call at all, their time and just getting me up to speed and talking about some of the issues that they've experienced, and we really worked through what have they seen that hasn't had an impact, what has had an impact, and how can we partner with them. Mr. Ramirez talked quite a bit about the targeted enforcements having an effect for several weeks, and so we will be doing some more of those. And so I just wanted everybody to know we'll probably maybe schedule another meeting in a month or so, and I'll let Natalia, she reached out to get people at the meeting, and so I'm happy just to hear people's concerns And also as I get up to speed in this role to see where we can partner and where we can do our best enforcement activities to, partner with the city in this area.
Also wanted to
Thank-
plug in, jump in and add also, I'm working with Liz Adams specifically on working on some action items that can improve some of the conditions in the neighborhood within PATH and outside of PATH. The bulk of the work is, PATH's facility improvements that they've been working on, but we're just agreeing to meet and have check-ins every other week to kind of see where they're at and making progress with interior improvements, providing services for the clients to encourage them to stay in the facility. Other stuff that we can do internally as staff. As you know, we have police prioritizing the area, but also continue to prioritize the trash can, the cleanup, the encampments. So it's multifaceted. It's not just, PATH specific, but it is how we can collaborate together on specific actions that we can do to hopefully help mitigate some of those issues that you're seeing in the neighborhood.
Thank you, Liz. I also realized that there may be some people on this call who hadn't heard that Commander Corbett is taking over for what Commander Katsapis' role had been. Commander Corbett, do you want to share more just for anyone who's new today?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I'll give you a quick overview. I've been at the department for about 19 years. And for the last 2 years, I've been over community accountability, which is over our public information officer, our professional standards unit, so dealing with any complaints or misconduct, liaison to our oversight and fire and police commission, as well as a couple other hats. Commander Katsapis has just moved into that position, and we have swapped positions. So now I supervise our specialized units, including our community action team, our co-response mental health team, traffic, parking enforcement, animal control, and things like that. As an officer, I spent 4 years in the community policing. I was assigned to the downtown corridor and dealt with a lot of these kind of same issues at a time when there weren't as many resources as the city has now. And so I'm really optimistic as I step back into this role and see all of the resources and, all of the energy that is being put at helping solve this problem, because this is not a problem we can arrest our way out of. We can't enforce our way out of this. So I love seeing all the resources and all the collaboration happening. So I'm super happy to be in this role and kind of stepping back into this community policing to see where we can improve the quality of life issues that come as a result of all of these issues.
Thank you. Appreciate that perspective. Any other questions or concerns from the community? Otherwise, we'll move on to hear some updates from the providers. All right. So let's start with our CityNet team. I see Al on the call.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so we provided outreach throughout the east side to the Dwight Murphy area, beaches, Cacique. We also did our Spanish outreach in collaboration with PATH and Odin, their team. We did have some rain, so we were offering, the warming centers and try to get anyone in, interested in going indoors. We did have a couple people that we connected with at Dwight Murphy Park. One person that was under the Quarantina underpass that was interested in going indoors during the rain. So we were able to connect that individual. I would say the bright part out of the most recent outreach within the past week was an individual that has caused some concern in the area with belongings and just kind of just around the east side area. Is starting the process of getting housed. So they received a offer, and we began and actually turned in that documentation and paperwork yesterday. But we haven't, I had one request by a community member for some support, and we were able to make it out there, and the individual at the time had moved along in front of a business on Milpas. but please continue to reach out to me directly if it's like a more higher concern. That's something that we want to take care of as quickly as possible. So I can get that information to my team to be able to make it out there in a timely manner. But if not, like I said, please just get it to the city and they're able to get that information to us so we can respond as well. That's all from me, Landon.
Great, thanks, Al. All right, let's hear from, I see we have a couple from YMCA, the Youth and Family Services team.
Good morning. So we continue our schedule for outreach on the east side is Thursdays and Saturday afternoons. In the past 2 weeks, well, actually in the past week, we had 2 new intakes. We had one individual move into El Correo. We have one individual pending move in at Artisan Court. We moved one new individual into the YHDP transitional living, and we have 3 pending referrals to move into YHDP transitional living and 1 pending move into our transitional living. We are working on 4 new Buena Tierra apps. We have 8 individuals pending to move into Buena Tierra. And our PSH program is up and running, and we now have 4 people enrolled in our scattered site permanent supportive housing program. We do have an individual that we cannot serve anymore on the east side. So I wanted to reach out to other providers. We can't serve him due to an incident with an employee. So I could share with the other providers his HMIS number so that they can serve him. He hangs around the navigation center most days. So
Thanks, Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do the closed component of the meeting in a few
Yeah.
minutes here. Let's go to our PATH team and Odin.
Hey everybody, this is Odin at PATH, outreach specialist for PATH Santa Barbara and boots on the ground for the CK area. Just a little bit of update since last time we spoke. I've been hitting all of our usual beats, which is usual. Laura Milpas, Cacique, Cabrillo, Dwight Murphy, and Yananali. And in the past week, I've got 6 new contacts in the area, so there's a few more people moving into this side, but I managed to get them connected with resources. So far, I've just been focused on getting people document ready, getting them scanned into the system and, you know, in the pipeline for shelter. Right now it's a little bit slow, especially with how many beds are open. You know, I mean, the lack of beds are open right now, but we're just banking on that La Posada opening coming up soon. 90 beds is going to be incredible, absolutely incredible for the Santa Barbara area. I know there's, you know, a lot of people on just unsheltered in the rain, and right now, once those things open up, it's just going to be a game changer. We're going to see a lot of movement that ways. 2 of the new connections I've already gotten document ready and connected, you know, signed up for City County Housing Authority, and one of which managed to get in touch with their previous caseworker in LA for drug and alcohol treatment. So fingers crossed that, you know, we get them reconnected and moved on that ways. 2 Fridays ago, I managed to get one Marine veteran living on the beach into a cottage hospital bed here at PATH, and I got one client living in the Dwight Murphy area. Just had an interview with the Rescue Missions Transitional Shelter Program, so massive kudos to Kylan and Jerry and Greg over there, because come Monday, fingers crossed, he's going to be sheltered and off of the streets. Some really good news. I've got 2 pending move-ins from the east side, hopefully this month. So we're going to see 2 less people moving, you know, 2 more people moving into permanent shelter and, you know, reconnected with, you know, essentially rehabilitated and all that good stuff. So right now I'm just been, we're just waiting on a move-in date, getting resources, reaching out to donors, and hoping that we get in there sooner rather than later. But you know, that's all the updates I have for outreach right now. And if there's anything else my team wants to add, feel free. But that's all I've got.
Great, thank you, Odin. I'm not seeing anyone from Good Samaritan on this call, but chime in if I'm just missing you. Maybe we can go to the city of Santa Barbara. I know Liz is here, as well as there was one other person I saw. Oh, two Liz's on the call from city of Santa Barbara.
I just wanted to jump in and I see Liz Smith. Hi, Liz. Oh God, there's 3 Liz's now. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, this is out of hand.
Talking about La Posada, it's been really exciting to hear the names that are being referred to this housing units. It's people we know that are out on the street that we talk about on a regular basis. So, there are, I think it's 80 units, 40 units for people in creeks, and 40 for behavioral wellness beds, which will take a little bit longer to get those filled up. But it's exciting to hear the names that are coming up, and just seeing some of those names and the areas that are being targeted for offering, making referrals to these units. We're expanding it to creeks down as far as Sycamore Creek, to try to get as many possible people on a priority list for these units. So it's been really exciting to see that progress moving. And Buena Tierra also, all those referrals are happening over there. There's a lot of exciting upcoming housing opportunities for people.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liz Smith. I'm the Community Engagement Supervisor in Sustainability and Resilience. And usually our code enforcement officers, Brian Watson and Andrew Crutch, would be in this meeting, but they headed out to Cacique Street this morning to kind of get a status update for you for this meeting, and they haven't returned yet. So I'm sure they are busy down there trying to get things cleaned up. But they're definitely, like Barbara mentioned, we're visiting that site at least a couple of times a week, as well as Sycamore Creek down near Dwight Murphy. So really being present in the neighborhood, working closely with PD and all of the service providers. So, yep, we're keeping at it.
Thank you, Liz. Appreciate you being here in their place. Is there anything else? Any other general announcements for this crowd? Any community cleanups coming up we should be aware of? Or anything else?
We just got the instant update from Susie.
Oh, great. Thanks, Susie. All right. Well, with that, I'll say thank you again for this conversation. I do appreciate everybody who's willing to show up, because it's through these meetings and through these kind of interactions that we're able to help hopefully move forward together, and facilitate the conversations that need to happen. So I appreciate you all, and we'll close the meeting now for community members. So thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.